Hello, and welcome to The Discriminating Gamer, the board game review show that was very disappointed to watch Amazon's new TV show Carnival Row, because, no Ferris wheel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to go ahead and take a look at Disney Villainous from Ravensburger.
Scientists in my field keep on calling me insane. Well, they should have invented themselves some kind of shield, yeah. Cause in these jars I'm holding all of the brains. Wow, 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 it's not easy being a genius. It's not easy being a super evil genius. Whoa, 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 you don't know how I feel. So you must be killed because you're not an evil genius like me. With the ladies, I'm not much of a Casanova. I never know quite what to say. But baby, don't start thinking this date is over, or I'll vaporize you with this here death ray.
In Disney Villainous from Ravensburger, 2 to 6 players take on the roles of various cartoon baddies from the animated films of the Walt Disney Studios. You can be Maleficent, you could be Jafar, you could be Ursula, you could be Captain Hook, the Queen of Hearts, or you could even be Prince John. Now, there is not a common game board, rather each player has their own specific game board that goes out right in front of them. It has 4 action spaces in it. You're also going to have your villain deck, which you put on your left, and your fate deck, which you put on your right. Now, in the center of the play area, you put the cauldron with a number of power tokens in the center of it. You put all the power tokens in there, and then you each have 4 of your villain cards in hand. Now, on your turn, you have to move your villain to one of these spaces. You actually have to put it on one of the 4 action spaces. You always have to move him. You cannot leave it in the same space unless there's some kind of card effect that lets you do it. You have to move from one space to the other. Now, when you go to that space, there are usually 4, though sometimes less, sometimes more, actions that you can perform. And you can perform all of these actions in any order that you want. Some of the actions will simply let you gain power. You can take power from the cauldron and put it on your deck. And now, power is important because it's going to let you do certain things, most notably play certain cards. Play cards is an action. If you want to play a card, you can play a card, but you have to be able to pay for it with power. When you play a card, you're usually going to put that down right in front of you below your game board at the bottom there, and it's going to kind of attach itself to the game board. It becomes part of your realm. Any of the cards that are attached to your board become part of your realm. Many of the cards you're going to attach to your realm are going to be items or allies that are going to help you. There may be a few other things that come out depending on which character you're going to play. Now, you can also play Fate card on someone else. Essentially, you turn to another player when you're playing the Fate action, and you say, give me 2 of your Fate cards. You choose which one of those Fate cards you want to play, and you play it on them. Sometimes this is going to be a hero that you're going to attach to the top of their card, and this will become a hero on their play area, and they're going to have to, it's going to hinder their ability. If somebody plays it on you, then you're going to have to deal with that as well. It's something you're fighting against, but that's going to be on the top of your board in your realm. You may be able to activate a certain ability which comes on one of your cards, one of your item cards or ally cards you played. They may have item or activate icons. If you've got the activate icon in your action slot, you can go ahead and activate the specific advantage that comes from that item or ally. You can move an item or ally along the bottom of your deck, and then another action is to move a hero along the top of your play area, top of your realm. There is Vanquish. Essentially, you can kill a hero, or get rid of them, as it were, but you have to have, of course, enough power, usually in the form of allies, at the bottom of your realm, in that same location, in order to vanquish the hero. There's also a discard. Essentially, you can discard a number of cards from your hand during your turn. Now, at the end of your turn, you're going to go ahead and draw cards. You draw back up to 4 cards, and then play proceeds to the next player. Now, some of the characters actually have some parts of their locations are locked, and they're going to have to go through their deck and find certain things that are going to help them unlock those locations so that they can take advantage of them to meet their objectives. Now, here's the thing. Each of these villains are trying to do different things. This is an asymmetrical game. You've got different objectives. For instance, Prince John, he's just trying to collect power. He wants to get to 20 power. If he can start his turn with 20 power, he wins the game. Maleficent is trying to curse her realm. If she can have a curse in every part of her realm, then she wins the game. Captain Hook is looking to destroy Peter Pan. If he can find Peter Pan and vanquish him, then he wins the game. So they all have various objectives they're trying to fulfill, and they each have different ways of going about doing that. For instance, Ursula does not have allies that defeat her heroes. She has binding contracts that defeat her heroes. So you're going to have to go ahead and see exactly what each of your players, each of your characters can do in order to fulfill their specific objectives. The game comes with a kind of a strategy guide, just a little strategy guide for each player to help them find out exactly the best way to play their character in the hopes of winning. So players go around and around, they take advantage of the various actions, they play cards to their realm, they have to fight the various fate deck cards that come out and the heroes that try to thwart them. They go ahead, they collect power, they do all these sorts of things with the hope of fulfilling their specific objective for their character. Whoever is the first to fulfill their objective wins Disney Villainous. So Disney Villainous, this is a game, I had seen it was out, and it didn't really thrill me. I'm not a big Disney fan. When I was a kid, I liked it. I think the last Disney film I really got excited about or enjoyed was The Little Mermaid. I enjoyed that one. But just generally speaking, I like some of the older Disney films, but, everything since Little Mermaid, take it or leave it. It doesn't do a thing for me. And so people had talked about this game, and I'd heard people said it was really good, and I was like, oh, well, okay, that's interesting. But then I just kept hearing people talk about it. I'm like, oh, maybe I should play it. I had my good friend Chris down here. He actually said it was a really fun game. So I thought, maybe I really should. So I reached out to Ravensburger. I asked them, if I could get a review copy of this, and they said sure. They sent me some games to review. And so I went and I played this with some friends. And none of us had played this game before. Mostly were fellow graduate students that sat down to play it. And it was really a lot of fun. We really got a kick out of it. It's fun because it's mean. You're playing those fake cards on people you think you've just about got your objective, or you're getting close to it, and then somebody plays a fake card that just completely screws you over. I was playing Prince John in that game, and I came close many times to getting 20 points, or I get 20 points, but then somebody would play something so I didn't have it at the start of my turn, 20 power, and so it kept frustrating me. But it was very interesting to see how the different strategies work out. But there's a take that element here that I really, really like. Emily really liked it. Everybody that played it got a kick out of it. However, we're playing with 6 people, and that's a bit much. Some people at one end of the table kind of didn't know so much what was going on with people at the other end. So with that in mind, I think your sweet spot here is probably going to be a lower player count. I'm thinking 3 to 4 players is probably your sweet spot here. Maybe even 2. I haven't played it at 2 yet, so I can't speak for that. But 3 to 4 is the sweet spot. 5 is manageable, but 6 gets a little crowded. Still, it's a very, very fun game, and it's a very, very fun system. Ravensburger has also come out with some expansions to this game. Evil Comes Prepared, and that offers the heroes Ratigan, Scar, and Yzma. And then you also have the Wicked to the Core expansion, and the Wicked to the Core expansion includes Hades, Dr. Facilier, and Evil Queen. Long story short, really enjoyed this game. It was a whole lot of fun. I think you're going to get a big kick out of Disney Villainous. Recommendation for Disney Villainous from the Discriminating Gamer is 100% buy it. Thank you once again for joining us today on The Discriminating Gamer. As always, we ask you to please leave a comment for us on YouTube, on Board Game Geek, on our Facebook page, or on thediscriminatinggamer.com. We ask you to please like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and follow us on Twitter. We are The Discriminating Gamer, and I got to tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. I'm watching Orlando Bloom on Carnival Row, and I'm remembering, of course, he was Legolas in The Lord of the Rings. And what I never understood was, why did they call him Legolas when he clearly had 2 legs?
Please somebody help me on my feet again. And I don't know where I'm going, and I don't know where I've been. Please somebody help me on the solid ground. It's a long time, and I'll be dying. Once a year I wind up in the band.
Cool. Yeah, get hands off the cars, the world.